Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday to you. Thank you for joining me today. Here in Washington, I'm looking outside the window. It's not raining. Um, Typical Washington day. So today we're going to begin where we left off. And so I'm going to say hi to all of you. And now I'm going to push the, hello, Mark. Hello, Sandra. I'm going to go ahead and push this camera down. I put a new camera on because we were having difficulty last time. This one seems to be working much better. I ordered them both at the same time. They were both new. This just works better for some reason. Hello, Misha. So let me go ahead and bring this down. Okay. Push it back as much as I can. Okay, so we began at buff titanium over here, buff titanium, and we went through the yellows, we went through the oranges, and today we're going to start off with the reds, and we're going to end up somewhere near the violets before we're done today, probably at least 27 or close to that. All right. And so, put that away. I did want to show you all something, and that is this right here. Hello, Giovanni. Hello, Tara. Hello, Barb, Thea, Narita, Nancy, and Anika. So this right here is the color stories, and it's posted at the Daniel Smith site. And I think you might find it really interesting. On the same page, you can see the Excel spreadsheet that lists all the colors, all the pigments, the names in multiple languages. You can see the C-Lab numbers. You can see the granulation colors. Hello, Claudia. And this just goes over the story of each color. So I'll give you an example. Let me flip it around so I can see it. It's by Alpha. So let's look at Azo Yellow, for example. We looked at this a couple weeks ago when I drew it out. Daniel Smith Azo Yellow watercolor almost jumps off the paper. It's so brilliant, sunny, and bright. The very essence of yellow, it's clear, powerful, vivid, semi-transparent, smooth, and staining. Use this organic pigment to add light and sparkle to your paintings. It's also a versatile mixing color. So you might enjoy reading through the different colors. Hello, Ahmet from Istanbul. I've been to Istanbul. Beautiful place. I enjoyed it so much. Hello, Tarun. Welcome. Boy, it's when you can't travel, as that's probably all of us, it's so interesting looking at where all of you are from. Awesome. So, Anana, last week I went over the YINMN, the iridium, indium, magnesium blue. I'm looking at that. We've had it for 2 years. I've made it into a paint. I just never brought it out. So it's something we're going to evaluate. You know, when I bring a color out, there's 260, which means there's 4 racks of colors, and stores have to change the whole racks when I bring out one color. So I always weigh that very, very strongly. Okay, so let us begin. We're going to begin. I'll do 3 to 5 colors at a time. We're going to begin with Pyrrole Scarlet, Paraline Scarlet, Pyrrole Red, Fire Engine Red, Pyrrole Red, Indanthroid Scarlet, and Cad Red, medium U. Hello, Mark from Bulgaria. All right. Okay, so let's start. Hello, Denmark. I always like going to Denmark. Hello, Chantal. Okay, so these are going to be the first 5 colors. First 5 colors. Okay, so I'm going to start with Pyrrole Scarlet. Misha, I will get a hold of you through Messenger. There we go, Pyrrole Scarlet. Pyrroles, perylines, very bright, very vivid colors. And this one is Perylene Scarlet. Perylene Scarlet. I love this color. This is Perylene Red. Perylene Red. Just a vivid, vivid red. Really vivid. Okay. This is Anthraquinoid Red. Anthraquinoid Red. Anthraquinoid Red. And last we have the Cad Red Medium U. I stopped making cadmiums about 5 years ago. First one in the market to ever do that. And these are a series of high performance pigments. There's opacity to them. Okay. So that's our first 5. Okay. So I hope all of you are doing well wherever you may be. It's amazing we're going to be in February very soon. Here in Seattle, sometimes February is a cold. But spring's not that far away. Okay. So there's a couple of different CADs, Marissa. And we're going to be looking at a couple of them today. Okay. So permanent red. Quinacridone red. Permanent red deep. And Perylene red. Okay. We'll do Perylene red first. Okay, so this is permanent red. What colors will you pick next week? So, Chantel, I'm going right across the Daniel Smith 260 color watercolor chart, and I'm doing that by chroma. Okay, permanent red. So we're going to end up somewhere in the violets today, and that's where I'll begin next week. Okay, this is Quinacridone red. Now remember Quinacridone red, Quinacridone rose, and Quinacridone violet are all the same pigment. They're all PV19. So it's one pigment that gives you multiple shades. There's that beautiful Quinacridone. Quinacridones are highly light fast. They're transparent. They're just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pigments that make beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. Okay, the next one is permanent red deep. Permanent red deep. Permanent red deep. Oh yeah, so just so everybody knows, the Friday is a repeat of Thursday, just to give people from all over the world who might be eating supper or just getting up, from starting the day, able to join. So it's just a way to, I want you all to be able to watch. So it just gives more opportunity. So yeah. So next one is Perylene red. Perylenes are pretty awesome colors. It's going to be Perylene red. If it's a pyro or a Perylene, you can expect it to be very intense. Okay. There we go. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So I'm going to plot 2 of these here. Okay, so we're looking at permanent alizarin crimson, Mayan red, carmine, rose madder permanent, and anthracanoid red. So here we go. Permanent alizarin crimson. I'm going to keep that one out to the side. Mayan red. Oh, what brush am I using? I'm using a, this is, I believe, silver brush, silver, black velvet. It's hard. Silver, black velvet. Okay, silver, black velvet is the brush. Carmine. Thank you, Mark. Rose madder permanent. We used to have rose madder, and rose madder was part of the genuine series or the Primatex series, anthracanoid red. But it was very difficult because rose madder is a plant. It's the rose madder root, and the rose madder root is then boiled to produce a dye, and that dye is put over the top of a halide, and it's called a laked process. But it always is a fugitive color. Dyes are fugitive no matter what. And it was very difficult to maintain the color of the rose madder, so I discontinued that, and the rose madder permanent is extremely close to the color that we really liked of the rose madder, but it's made with high performance pigments and it's permanent. Okay, so this first one is the permanent alizarin crimson. Permanent alizarin crimson. Really pretty. Really pretty. Okay, a couple here. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm using, Melody. The only thing I notice, it brings up, it tends to bring up a little bit water up into the ferrule. So the next one is Mayan red. Mayan red. And Mayan red kind of has that warmth to it because of the clay. Okay. And this is carmine. Carmine. The next one is the Rose Madder Permanent. The Rose Madder Permanent. Rose Madder Permanent. Oh yeah, those are pretty cool. So George says, mine red and mine orange. I love to use these two colors on my palette. This is anthracenoid red. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to show you Opera Pink. And Alizarin Crimson. Let me pull out the other Alizarin Crimson too. All right. So this is going to be Opera Pink. And Opera Pink has a fluorescent. So it's one of the only two colors that we have that is fugitive. We only have two. We have Alizarin Crimson, and we have Opera Pink. It takes about 20 to 30 years in full sunlight for the fluorescent to go away, and if it did go away, what would be underneath would be Quinacridone magenta. So the fluorescent part may go away after 30 years in full sunlight, but there'll always be color there because the Quinacridone magenta is a light fast one, which means 100 plus years. So this is Opera Pink. Used quite a bit for those that do flowers, etc. I don't show the tubes, not because the tubes are a secret. I have them in bags so I don't get out of order. It's a little bit difficult sometimes to read, because that's important to me that I read what it is you're asking me, and then paint and then not get out of order. That's why. Otherwise, it's just one more thing to touch, and I have found myself getting out of order, which I don't want to do. So that's the only reason. And it slows me down a little bit. And we have a lot of colors to go through. So nothing nefarious. Okay, so there's those right there. And let me show you. But let me show you alizarin crimson and permanent alizarin crimson. So here is alizarin crimson. Alizarin crimson is a coal tar derivative. It is fugitive. You may ask then, why do people use it? It was used by the masters, so teachers, professors, extremely knowledgeable people use it because they want to paint like the masters. It's actually a very popular color. We only have two fugitive colors, and that's the opera pink and the alizarin crimson, which is a very pretty color. Okay. Misha, you're funny. I have no issue with that. My only thing is, it's like chewing bubble gum and patting the top of your head and doing it's. But I have no issue with it at all. I want to make sure I'm giving you the information that you want. So let me put the permanent right beside this. I did this yesterday. Debbie asked me about this yesterday, so let me do it for you as well. This is the alizarin crimson. Probably 30 years in direct sunlight. It's one of the two fugitive colors, the opera pink and the alizarin crimson. But we do have a permanent version, and the permanent version is made with high performance pigments, and it is over 100 years. So if you wanted to use something that was permanent, you could use the permanent version. So you could use the alizarin or the permanent alizarin. Okay? What I seem to always go through the fastest is water. Clean water anyway. But I think I have a pretty good system now. I call it the bucket system. I just bring a bucket and refill. We have several new colors we're working on. We have a full laboratory. I have multiple chemists. We look at probably 50 to a couple of hundred pigments a year easily. We make all those into paint, but I bring very few of them out. We will be bringing out at least one this year, if not a couple, but at least one. The rest may come at the end of the year, Alexander. So Lauren McCracken Black will be coming out. If you haven't watched Lauren's video, it's a neat video to watch. It's always easy to come out with colors. What I want to always make sure is that they're offering you something for your money. There's something about them which is unique. There's something about them which is special. You're correct, Misha. There's 260. Okay. That, and I have wet paint, so it's a little bit difficult to show them, but I'm going to do that now. We're going to see quinacridone lilac, and then I'll pull this camera back up again. Let's see if it focuses. It's been doing a pretty good job of focusing. Yeah. Oh, it had it there for a second. Quinacridone lilac. We'll look at quinacridone pink, quinacridone rose, and potter's pink. So these are all my travel tubes. I bring these tubes all over the world. You can't see behind me, but I probably have 800 tubes behind me. Okay, so with that, I'm going to bring this back up again. There we go. Turn those around. So we do them in order. Potter's Pink. Quinacridone Lilac. That's a pretty color. Quinacridone Rose. So Alexander, what year of school are you in for chemistry? I think last time you said you were going to go into chemical engineering or something of that nature. If you don't mind everybody knowing when they look and see your answer. You don't have to put an answer, of course. All right. Put that over here. Okay, so the first one. Does your new camera have an option for? It doesn't, Misha. It doesn't have. It doesn't. It doesn't have an option for manual focus. I think what I might try to do is put a camera, use a camera. This is Potter's Pink. Potter's Pink. Yeah, the new camera is the same exact brand before. It's a pretty good brand. It's a Logitech. And when I go into OBS or into the Logitech software, it's really, really good. They give you lots of ability to manipulate the camera, but here in Facebook, they don't. That makes sense. A lot of people are using Facebook, so I think it's all a bandwidth issue. Okay, this one is Quinacridone Lilac. Quinacridone Lilac. Quinacridones are really pretty colors. There's Quinacridone Lilac. And that's what it looks like. Yeah, Potter's Pink is an interesting color, Giovanni. Okay. The next color is Quinacridone Rose. Quinacridone Rose. We have 14 quinacridones. The first quinacridone was Quinacridone Gold. Quinacridone Rose. Quinacridone Lilac. Quinacridone Rose. Oh, congratulations to you. It's always nice when all your work comes to fruition. So congratulations, Alexander. Okay, and the last one, before I get the next bag, is Quinacridone Pink. Quinacridone Pink. Oh. Quinacridone Pink. Okay. That one out too. Okay. Oh, that's neat. If you could send me, so Misha, if you could send me the type of camera it is, I will get one, especially if it has autofocus. That'd be great. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It does look similar to the opera pink. I mean, opera pink's is opera pink, quinn pink. So more fluorescent. This is one thirsty paper. It's really, really thirsty. Okay. So now these four are going to be Bordeaux, and this one is Mayan Violet, and Quinacridone Magenta, and this is Pyrrole Crimson. Pyrrole Crimson. Clean up my tray a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure there's way more controls in the OSB as to how you can invert, what you can do with your cameras, lots of options. And I know some of you are just masters at it because you've just done it for so long. You can do it in minutes, what takes me quite a bit of time to do because when I started in probably March of last year, it was even kind of interesting logging on to Facebook. And now it's so much, you do it enough, everything's just faster. It's probably true of everything we do. I'm cleaning out the palette so I can use it on these other colors. I think because I didn't clean the, yesterday as I was going, I was cleaning the palettes, but this time I decided not to do that. So we're going a little faster today than we did yesterday. We'll probably make it through a couple more colors, which then I won't repeat for Friday, but I'll show Thursday's viewers those colors. Yeah, I just noticed that too, Elisa. From yesterday, I think it's just not cleaning as I go along. I'll just clean afterwards. Okay, so let's go ahead and do these. Thank you, Sandra. This one is Bordeaux, just like the wine. Bordeaux. I'll put it here until I start painting. This is Mayan Violet. Mayan Violet. This is Pyrrole Crimson. You know, those pyrroles are just super strong colors. That's because they're synthetics and used for the car industry and other industries, and they're just. And this is Quinn magenta. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at these four. Here we go. Elisa says she wishes she could train her cats to clean. Boy. Pyro Crimson, pyros are just so intense. They're kind of like that loud person that comes to the party and everybody knows their name, and they're just awesome colors. Yeah, that's true. This is going to be Bordeaux, just like the wine, Bordeaux. Kind of looks like wine that's spilt on the paper. It has that beautiful wine color to it. Okay, this one is Mayan Violet. All the Mayans have that clay in them. Gives them that kind of earthy color. So that's Mayan Violet. And the last one here of this four is going to be Quinacridone magenta. Quinacridone magenta. Really? Yeah, it's pretty. I like this one. Really pretty. Yeah, one good thing to try if you haven't is the 238 dot card, because it really allows you to see. I'm asked quite a bit with comments. When you take off a cap of a color, I'm going to put these away real quick. I'll just show you in the next set of colors. When you open the cap, that's mass tone. And mass tone, you all know this, mass tone isn't going to look like the color when you put water to it. The beautiful thing about watercolor is you really start seeing the characteristics and the beauty when you add water. And you also see the effects, whether it granulates, whether it's transparent. Those are all the things you see with water. And it's not around a printer can only do so good of a job. It can't do what you can see with the actual draw out. That's why I love doing these sessions, is that you can actually see the color. When I put it on the paper, you can see it. They're quite beautiful. But the 238 dot card allows you to see the color. And I think what most people don't understand, unless they're artists, is, especially for watercolor artists, you can feel the color because you can feel it through your brush. I've always, when I talk to artists, I always hear they'll not only say see, but they'll say feel. So it's not only very visual, this art form, it's also very tactile. And the 238 dot card allows you to do that. Then you can decide, do I want a color? No, that color really doesn't do it for me. and you haven't bought a big tube of paint, or a 15 mil or a 5 mil. Well, I would love you to buy them. What really makes me feel good is that you're able to get value out of what you buy, and it's allowing you to do your artwork. I like that a whole lot more. Okay. Yeah, this one's pretty good. You know what's worked really good as well, though, is just the ceramic plate. The ceramic plates is my backup right here. They're super easy to clean. I mean, just really easy to clean. These little wells are a little bit, they're not the easiest things to clean. The plate, super easy. I agree, Pamela. It's a awesome medium that not only is it the visual part, but there's also the tactile part of it. Okay, there we go. So, I don't know if I showed these to you. Let me put these over here so I can show them to you. There we go. So, Perylene Violet. I put lines through my colors so as I travel I know they're mine. Quinacridone Violet. Permanent Violet. No, you do not want to taste the colors. Cobalt Violet. Misha was my host in Russia, and he was just a phenomenal tour guide and a very sweet man. Kind man. So thank you, Misha. Okay, let's start with Perylene. Well, knowing it's a Perylene, this should be pretty intense. Perylenes, pyrols, pretty intense. Thank you. Okay, that's the Perylene Violet. Ow. Okay, the next one is the Quinacridone Violet. We've gone through quite a few quinacridones today. Quinacridone Violet. Quinacridone Violet. Okay, this is Permanent Violet. Permanent Violet. Permanent Violet. It's a pretty color. The Quinacridone Violet, Nancy, is that the newest edition, or is it the Permanent Violet? Which one's your newest addition? Okay, this is cobalt violet. Cobalt violet. Oh, so it's the perylene violet. Yeah, that's pretty. It's a pretty color. Okay. And the last one is going to be our cobalt violet deep. Our last color will be cobalt violet deep. Cobalt violet deep. Permanent is just it's just a all-around color. Back in the days when Winsor Newton had permanent red or permanent green, and we were just starting, we used it just so our customer would know what was the comparable color. Now there's, we have 260 colors. We have super intense pigments. So there's two things. There's the color, permanent, and there's the light fastness. So light fastness or permanence. So light fastness is permanence. So thank you, Misha. Light fastness is permanence. Same. If it's a 1, it's 100 plus years. If it's a 2, it's 100 years, etc. And then there's just the name permanent. And so let me give you an example. Permanent violet. Permanent violet. So permanent violet, the soft handling ability or even dispersion of this light, fast, semi-transparent pigment helps make this a fine pre-mix violet. The rich medium to high staining pigment shows strong reddish violet color. Use permanent violet in velvety purple washes or subjects such as pansies and other flowers. So it was a time when we had just come out with watercolors, 26 years ago, 27 years ago. And the leader at that time was Winsor Newton, and they had a permanent violet, so we had a permanent violet. And now we have all types of violets. We have perylenes, pyrroles, etc. So I hope that answers it. And Misha, thank you. Okay, so with that, we're going to stop so we're even with Friday or Thursday, yesterday. We'll stop at the same place. That way when I begin, we all begin together. I will answer all the questions on Thursday, and I put all those together. I'll answer all the questions on Thursday. If you have any questions, please leave them. I love your questions. I love seeing it real time here as I'm doing the presentation. I appreciate them greatly. And let me just see, well, we have a couple minutes left. Let's see what we did here. This is not all of them. I have a whole floor down there full of them, but So here's where we ended up. There's another set we did. That's our friend Opera Pink. So these are more now dried. Okay. With that, I wish you all a great weekend. and health. I look forward to seeing you next week. Please take care of yourselves. Thank you for joining me on Friday and on Thursday. I always appreciate it, and I'll see you then. Let me put this up. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for joining me.